why would you take this position? Why not just stick with the traditional facing forwards towards the head and shoulders? Well, there are some advantages to sitting out. The first big advantage is it's a great way to deal with your opponent's underhook. An excellent way for us to work is to sit out towards the hips. This greatly reduces the effectiveness of my training partner's underhook, and it makes it possible for us to even counterattack that underhook in ways that we'll be looking at fairly shortly. Secondly, it also creates situations where it's extremely difficult for your opponent to go into the number one escape from half-guard situations, which is the elbow escape. The less space I give him, the harder it is for Patsy to hit a successful elbow escape. And one of the best ways you can do this is to sit out. Also an excellent way for us to reduce the effectiveness of my training partner's hips. His hips can move around. His head can move away from me. But when we take a reverse cross-face grip and then control our training partner at the legs in ways that we'll be looking at soon, it's very, very hard for him to use his hips constructively in terms of bridging, etc., etc. The first thing we're going to look at is our arm position, where I take my elbow around behind my training partner's scapula and head and sit out. This gives tremendous control of your training partner's head and shoulders. So that when Placido goes to move his head away from me, it ain't going anywhere. It also does a great job of shutting down the effects of his frames. When I take a reverse crossface in contrast, when he tries to frame on me now, it's awkward. It's very, very awkward because he can't move his head away. So when he goes to push, it's very, very hard. One of the first things we want to get into the habit of is the idea of getting a strong reverse crossface. The way we start is by putting our hand on the shoulder and then replacing the hand with the elbow in here behind the neck and head. Don't be satisfied just with your arm extended out. Make sure you pull your opponent's head into your lat muscle. Some other crucial ideas. This leg of yours. Well, we know what we're supposed to do with our knee. We're going to bring it in tight to the hip, just like so. But what about our foot? A very common problem people have is they tend to extend the leg and bring their foot down towards their training partner's feet. That means you have no base of support behind you. So when your opponent bridges into you, it's a real problem. So what we want to make sure we do is we take this foot of ours and we put it back. Don't have your shoelaces on the mat. There's no strength in your leg then. What we want to do is retract our foot and put the ball of our foot and our toes in the mat. Try not to sit back so much. Don't let your chest face up towards the ceiling. Then a strong bridge from your opponent will always get you out of balance. So what we want in these situations is that strong active foot behind us and our body pushing forward. So that there's a push off the mat. It's a subtle thing. So when my training partner goes to elbow escape, it's tough. When he goes to bridge, you'll be able to put some pressure through that leg to make it difficult for him. Okay? Now, another critical idea, which we're going to show by angling our heads towards the camera. Fellas, here's Placido's center line. Runs down from the middle of the hips all the way up through the nostrils to the top of the head. If I stay too far on the near side of the center line, Placido can off-balance me with a bridge. So if my body's too far back in this direction and I haven't gone across the center line, one strong bridge, and I can be knocked backwards. So it's important that once we get our stance in place, I always want to make sure I'm walking across my opponent's body. So what we're going to do is start a walking action that puts me over his center line. So we're going to walk across and put our weight directly over his center line. When Placido goes to bridge now, I feel like a rock on top of him. But if we ever screw up and our weight's too far back, just hit a sumigashi counter. So as Placido comes up and knocks me backwards, I put my foot right there inside his hip. And then from there I lift him right back where he came from. And then I cover the center line. I never let Placido get over my knees. This is a disaster. This is good for him and terrible for you. So when he comes up, make sure we always shorten our knee. With my 2 feet in front of his legs, when he goes to get up on top of me, it's impossible. And we can always return him to the mat. So we make a boo-boo and this guy comes up on top. We put our 2 feet inside and then we just lift him right back where he came from and we're in business. Your end game is to get your knee to the mat. But your end game is to get this knee to the mat. So we walk across our training partner's body and we put our forehead on the floor. When Placido goes to elbow escape down, impossible. Now when Placido goes to move, it's very, very difficult. And from here, you have a truly strong stance that you can hold your opponent down with.